A piece of live news was broadcasting. The hostess was smiling, introducing today's stock market. Suddenly, the trend chart slowly turned into a middle finger. What the hell? The hostess was dumbfounded, but she could only continue to say embarrassingly. She didn't know that this was actually a prank by a few hackers, and it was not the first time they did it. They invaded political meetings and put ghost videos in front of all officials. They invaded the pharmaceutical company and made the building's lights saying, "We kill animals." They even invaded Germany's most rigorous agency, Federal Intelligence Service, BND, and used printers to leave proof for their visit. But the next day, BND's confidential list accidentally leaked. An undercover agent was brutally killed by the hacker, so the hacker group who had just done those things was locked as an accomplice to the murder. The police began to investigate. But before the police found the hackers, a man voluntarily surrendered and said that he could help the police catch the real culprit. When the female police officer came for interrogation, the hacker's true face was officially revealed. It turned out to be a weak young man, Benjamin. At first, the female police officer didn't believe, but Benjamin had prepared. He told the female police officer's ID number and the bank deposit. He also revealed her unknown secret. Because of a miscarriage in the university, now she can no longer be pregnant. This was the horror of hackers. The female police officer finally believed. She began to question the real murderer behind. But Benjamin didn't answer directly. Instead, he made a trick for the female officer. 4 sugar cubes changed and turned into 1. Benjamin said the truth she wanna knows was in his story. It turned out that Benjamin was just an ordinary guy. His only hobby was surfing on the dark web. Until a day doing social labor, Benjamin met a cool guy named Max. After learning that Benjamin was also a hacker, Max was very interested in him and took him to meet 2 other hackers. At first, they underestimated Benjamin. In order to show his ability, Benjamin sat down directly in front of the computer, wrote a code, and typed on the keyboard. The whole street was completely dark. A minute later, the electricity went back. Now Max was more interested in him. He pulled Benjamin into the team and told him that, "You are only playing low-end games. The best hackers don't hack the system. What they wanted to hack was the human heart. Humans were the biggest bug." Max quickly took Benjamin to real action. They stole a car and drove to the police station. The bearded guy took Benjamin with him and was stopped to take out the identity certificate. This was done with Photoshop. But the guy was too calm, and the staff had no doubt. The first bug was successfully broken. They entered the venue. The guy went to set up a monitor, and asked Benjamin to walk to the podium, to replace the computer's Wi-Fi with theirs. Benjamin was a little bit worried. As soon as he changed it, he was seen by the staff. The coward Benjamin was scared, and pretended to be calm. Then he finished and ran away. The press conference just started when he escaped into the car. Sure enough, the ghost video appeared. Looking at the scene, they laughed. This was the first action completed by the team. Afterward, they became more and more frantic. They turned the stock index into a middle finger. They intruded the medicine building, and made the building's lights saying, "We kill animals." A series of events made him become the center of the media. But Max was still not satisfied. What he wanted was the affirmation of his idol, Mr. X. Finally, he received an email from Mr. X. But what awaited them was not the award. It was the mockery of them being like childish boys. Max exploded. He immediately decided to do a big deal. Next time, they would hack into the BND. This group of young people intruded on BND. Their first step was to track the garbage truck to the garbage dump. They changed their overalls and searched desperately among the piles of rubbish. Finally, they found it. Bingo! This was a greeting card from the staff of BND. But for them, this was the key to entering BND. They searched for employee information and quickly found a breakthrough. This employee liked kittens, so they sent her a junk email with a cute cat. The staff couldn't help but click in. At the same time, her badge information appeared on the hackers' computers simultaneously. They successfully copied her badge and sneaked into BND at night. They got on the elevator and started separate operations. One cleared the surveillance video, one controlled the alarm switch, one looked up the access code, and Benjamin was responsible for tampering with the host data. The total time was 3 minutes. The printer was already working when they left BND. To celebrate the success of this operation, the hackers went to the bar to celebrate. Benjamin was very happy. This was the first time he felt like having a happy life. He had a career, partners, and even the goddess who he crushed for 10 years. But after going to the toilet, Benjamin's dream was broken. His best brother Max was kissing the goddess. Benjamin collapsed and he ran home angrily. Seeing Max chasing him, Benjamin couldn't help but scold. This sentence touched Benjamin's weakness. He laughed resentfully. Then Benjamin made a decision. Just then in BND, he secretly cracked a confidential document. Now he used it as a bargaining chip, pretended to be Max to give to Mr. X. He wanted to prove to Max that he was the real hero. But Benjamin didn't know that this document would cause him to become a murderer. Because it contained undercover information from BND. After getting the document, Mr. X gave the information to the dark web. The next day, the undercover agent of BND was brutally killed. Benjamin and others became murderers. The police were ready to catch them. They decided that they had to fight back. Benjamin contacted Mr. X to take the next task from him, but it was actually a trap made by Benjamin. They prepared a virus. When Mr. X confirmed the mission, the virus can lock his location and identity, so that Benjamin and the others can prove their innocence. They destroyed the trail and burned the base, and took the bus to The Hague. This was their new mission. Break through the tightest base in Europe, Europol. Unexpectedly, the defense here was too tight. No matter what methods they used, they can't invade half a step. Even a fly couldn't go in. Max was even blocked by iron nets. They had nothing to do. But then Benjamin found that a student who came to visit had left their ID. Benjamin had a bold idea in his mind. At night, while his companion was asleep, Benjamin set off by himself. It was his own mistake. He wanted to make up for it. This time he had to break through the human bug alone. How to break the human bug? An important point made him think that he was the ruler of the world. Outside the Europol, a boy was asking security to let him in to find a wallet. The security guard certainly disagreed. At this time, the boy pointed to the wound on his face and said, "I just lost a wallet. My dad won't let me go this time." Looking at the boy's face, the security guard relented. He took him to the cafeteria to find a wallet. The security guard thought he saved a boy, but didn't know that this weak young man was actually a top hacker. While the security didn't notice, Benjamin walked towards a blind spot. The security spotted something was wrong, and chased him immediately. "I found it." But the camera turned, a small transmitter was installed under the dining table. This was an important tool for hacking. Benjamin hacked the Wi-Fi there. As long as someone accidentally connected to it, he could get control of the computer. Sure enough, the fish hooked. Benjamin and successfully intruded. He gave him the link with the virus. As long as Mr. X clicked the link, they'd be able to get his IP address, successfully located him. But then Mr. X suddenly let go. It turned out that he had predicted Benjamin's trap, and returned the favor. Now Benjamin's position was locked. At the same time, the dark web gangs appeared to kill him. Benjamin hurriedly ran to get rid of the killers. He quickly ran back to the hotel to warn his companions. But he was late. All three of his companions had been killed. This was the real reason why Benjamin confided himself. He wanted the police to protect him, so that he could avenge Mr. X, and help the police arrest him. Under the protection of the police, Benjamin quickly invaded the dark web system. He pretended to be Mr. X and exposed himself everywhere. "I sell hacker information and cooperate with dark web gangs to murder." What the fuck? Sure enough, Mr. X was really angry. After he found Benjamin, he broke through the restrictions and went to confront Benjamin. But he didn't know that the restriction was the trap that Benjamin gave him back. Now Mr. X's position had been locked. Mr. X was arrested and brought to justice. The matter was solved, but the female officer faintly felt that something was wrong, because Benjamin had a wound on his hand. In his story, this was the place where Max was injured. The female officer was a little suspicious. She went to ask Benjamin's goddess, but the goddess said that she had never seen this freak. What was happening? Finally, she found out the truth of the matter from Benjamin's doctor. The doctor said that Benjamin's mother had bipolar, and Benjamin happened to have 4 personalities. This disease was likely to be inherited. Even under the influence of some drugs, it'd aggravate the condition. This happened to include the hacker god who took the Ritalin drug. The female officer finally understood. She went to Benjamin to confront and provided deadly evidence. The bullets that Benjamin said to kill his accomplices were actually the relics left by his grandpa. So Benjamin had no accomplices at all. They were all personalities split from Benjamin. Benjamin was desperate. Once he had bipolar, he couldn't enter the witness protection plan. He still had to be imprisoned. Benjamin cried in despair, and the female officer couldn't help being silent. Benjamin awakened her maternal love. Finally, before Benjamin's trial, she secretly brought him into the computer room. She asked him to change his own identity. She wanted to let him go. Finally, Benjamin revealed the magic to the female officer. The 4 sugar cubes changed to only 1. Because the other 3 were actually hidden by him. Benjamin left. But at this time, the female officer grabbed the sugar cubes. She suddenly realized something, but Benjamin had escaped. He dyed his hair blonde. At this time, his companions appeared beside him. There were even goddesses. Now the truth behind the truth finally emerged. That day, Benjamin returned to the hotel. He told his companions about the exposure of his position. In order for all of them to escape smoothly, he came up with a perfect plan, to let Benjamin deliberately break the loophole, to cause the female police officer to suspect. This scar was the last link. When she thought she had found the truth, and judged that Benjamin was schizophrenic, the companions can escape perfectly. In the end, the female officer who was used to be infertile, were aroused her maternal love, to help her help Benjamin escape. The human bug was defeated. Benjamin and his party escaped freely. And the female officer also took back her position. Would she continue to investigate? Probably. What she found must be the truth. At this moment, the goddess suddenly asked Benjamin, "What did you change your name?" The companions answered, "No name." Benjamin obviously operated everything alone. How would he know? At this time, Benjamin smiled slightly. And Max, standing beside him, stopped, saying, "People just want to believe what they see. So is the truth we saw really the truth? The hacker god would make our brain burn."